partners, the amazing committee, our volunteers, members and players. Enjoy the day, there's plenty to do for the kids, and even a little leisure skates, get your kids out on the field, whether permitting or if you want to go home dirty. Finally, I thank our wonderful patron and sponsor of today's activities, the Honourable Michael Gunn. We hope you enjoy the game and meet us inside for a beverage after. Now it's my pleasure to invite the patron of this great club, the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory, the Honourable Michael Gunn, to say a few words.
Thank you. It's great to be here on Waratah land today. Magnificent wet Waratah land. I am confident we've got the close one today. I can't see too many goals being kicked. So here's hoping for long stops, clean hands, and a hard victory. Hoorah!
Say something just like in test like in here.
There is a bit of mud in the middle, but they've moved the centre circle to the far side to try and avoid that wet area in the middle.
So Dylan Collis with the free kick in the middle for Tars drives them forward. Ball's on the ground at half forward now, but kicked out of defence by Jack Klusky for St Mary's, and a terrific mark taken overhead out there by Jackson Calder. He plays on the left foot now and puts Saints inside forward 50 for the first time in the game. It's batted forward, and on the end of that is Jack Lant. Hooked with the left foot round the corner is a goal, if you don't mind. So already in the first minute of the game, but a fantastic kick in any conditions, but in these conditions, amazing by Jack Lant.
And how was the pickup? That's almost goal of the year in these conditions. Deep in the pocket, picked it up and snapped it for the first score of the day, as Stu said. So St Mary's on the board, 1-0 in the first minute of the game, Stu.
Yeah, really impressive ball movement. Fantastic hands by Jackson Calder out there to take that mark cleanly and then get it on quickly, and Saints had the right idea.
Going to be today in this type of weather, doesn't it?
Okay, and yeah, absolutely, Liz, and obviously field position will help you get those opportunities, and Saints have got it in their forward line now, but some clever work by Tars bringing it out of defence. Raf Clark behind on this occasion. The ball slips in his direction, but couldn't keep it in play, and it's out of bounds on the outer side between wing and half forward for St Mary's. And big fellas in ruck, Arnold Kirby for Tars and Ryan Smith for Saints. Bit of wrestling with each other there. Play on the call. A quick kick comes forward, and good hands by Taylor out wide. Dylan Lant drives the ball deep into the forward line. Gooch again back there for Tars, doing some good work. Picks up and kicks back in the direction of Lant. It got some pressure over the top from Orville, and again the ball slides out of bounds.
Well, we did lose commentary there for a minute, Stu, but we're back, and thanks to everyone that's messaged us. Very hard to hear, actually. We're sitting out in the open today in the grandstand, but it is great to be here at Gardens Oval on this wet season afternoon.
Yeah, we love it. Love the footy here, regardless of the conditions. And Tyler Saunders in there for Saints, tries to hand it off to Kieran Parnell, but again out of bounds.
Tyler Saunders, another one that's come in to the game today for St Mary's. He's had an injured foot. He's been in a moon boot for the last month or so, so he'll be itching to get a bit of game time under his belt before finals.
So pack around the ball again, and yeah, a couple of others important outs for Saints. Jack Geary, of course, couldn't make the trip being a Sunday afternoon game, and Nick Yarran out suspended, and Rob Forrest not playing today either. Rob Forrest, heaps of waffle experience, so 3 important players for Saints out.
Raf Clark with a juggling mark there and ran into the Tars player, but he's got the mark paid to him, and he's right over there underneath the scoreboard.
So Dylan Lant judged that best and took the mark on the outer wing. He kicks down towards half forward now, but a strong mark in defence, and Tars switch the ball to the near side of the ground. Simpson here receives it, kicks forward. Jellyman Turner just got a fingertip to it. Comes over the back to Keranua now, who chips in short. And he finds Edmonds at half forward. And young Braith Hodges didn't get out of the way. 50 metres, and that's crucial on a day like today. That'll take him to the goal square, I would think, and a chance to put Tars in front.
Yeah, just the awareness there by Braith, and he's indicating to his teammates to talk to him. It must be hard to hear out there, because it's certainly hard to hear in here in the grandstand, Stu.
Yep, and yeah, just getting heavier now, but Edmonds, who was good last time we saw Waratahs, having the shot for goal. And his kick slides into the man on the mark and gets touched through for or behind. So it's going to be a bit like that all day, I think. But, Matt Wilkinson kicking in for Saints, runs out of the goal square now and drives it outside defensive 50. Sean Edwards up, tries to get it on the second grab, but Collis came in and knocked it away from him. Got a whistle on the play here. It's St Mary's free kick, and it's going to Jellyman Turner at half-back.
Jellyman Turner flew in from Queensland yesterday. He's relocated a few weeks ago, so he was living here, but yeah, someone who's now flying in as that rain just somehow gets heavier and heavier.
So it's William Collis with this free kick. He kicks into the man on the mark, big Ryan Smith there. Hand passes forward now, but it's all Waratah players there. And hook round the corner. Sean Edwards going back with the ball, takes a nice mark and doesn't like the attention that he got. But he just needs to pick the ball up and get on with the game, I think, here, rather than trying to flex his muscles. Yeah,
as you said, a really good mark. These conditions are torrential, to say the least, as we see the ball get punched over the line there. Absolutely torrential and absolutely bucketing down here at Gardens Oval in Darwin this Sunday afternoon. It's about the 9.5-minute mark of the first quarter. St Mary's one straight goal, leading Waratah 2 behinds.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Obviously affected the crowd that would have turned up, but there's plenty of hardy souls here still to watch the game. But
yeah, it's traditionally, they call it Patrons Day. Michael Gunner, the Chief Minister, is here today and open proceedings, and they usually have a big family day at Gardens, but yeah, it is a little bit too wet for that today.
So Tom Marsh wins that hit out, a blast from the past. Tom Marsh played about 8 years ago for Tars. He's been playing in their Div 1 and Div 2 sides, but back in the league side today for the first time for a long time, and He's a big, strong fellow. The conditions will suit him, I would think. Boundary throw in here. And Smith slapped that one forward. Jacob Long floats one down towards the wing. It's going very close to the boundary line. In fact, it floated over the boundary line on the full. And free kick will be taken by Jack Catanach for Tars. He keeps the ball close to the boundary line again. Sean Edwards gets his fist to the ball. It squirts infield, and Godden with a suspect hand pass there, but had a bit of fist on it, I suppose. But Jacob Long again doing the tidy up work round the back. Gets it down to Jack Williams, who's tackled as he tried to kick. The ball slipped off his boot. Jacob Long's followed up to help him out. Towed the ball forward a couple of times,
wow.
and now Paredes gets the picks it up and kicks forward. And Calder off the ground, but it's just a puddle down there, so kicking off the ground might get it far. Jack Land again with a hook round the corner, but offline for a minor score this time. So Jack Land already looking dangerous when the ball goes forward. Another one of those strong-bodied players for St Mary's.
I think he likes it in the wet. I did notice there's no flags here, but in the women's game there was certainly a breeze favouring the grandstand side across the casino when the girls were kicking for goals. So we'll just see how that comes into play today.
Not much at the moment, I don't think. Jacob Long picks up, gets it off to Paredes. Paredes long towards the top of the goal square. Bit of push and shove down there.
Yeah.
Free kick's called, advantage is taken. And kick off the ground, managed to just get over the line, and that's Jack Land again. He's kicked the only 2 goals of the game, and we said only moments ago he's looking dangerous up forward, and he is at that. So two very valuable goals for Saints.
Yeah, very clever work to play on then, and all the Tars players were left standing flat-footed. So 2 goals to Jack Land, a really great start to the game. Jack and his brother Dylan have come up from Victoria this year and joined St Mary's, and they've been fantastic, haven't they, Stu?
They have been fantastic, and Dylan, of course, really impressive, and made the NT representative side that played on the Australia Day weekend, and Jack has been equally as impressive, and probably a bit unlucky to miss out himself, but plenty of good players in that side. Yeah,
there was. Their mum and dad were up for a few weeks earlier in the year as well, after Christmas, so got right into the spirit of things at St Mary's and with the rep game.
So Tars won the clearance, but St Mary's managed to work the ball to the boundary line just by the scoreboard on the outer side, and it's gone over the line for a boundary throw-in. So Smith again gets it down to Edwards. Edwards quickly onto the boot, and nicely taken in front there by Jack Klusky. He plays on now, kicks the ball towards half forward. Good defensive work down there. And buttering up again was Alex Maloney, and made the tackle and forced a stalemate. Alex Maloney won the Australia Day medal last time we watched the game, playing at full-back. Had a terrific game that day, and yeah, he's a strong body here. But there's a bit of action happening off the ball, and it'll be a Tars free kick where the ball up is taking place.
And Jack Klusky's one that's also come into the team for St Mary's. He's with Glenelg in the Sandfulls, so he played in that Glenelg team on the rep game.
He was actually up here a few years ago as a young fella came up with Kieran Parnell, and might have played 1 or 2 Premier League games then, but certainly played some under-18s footy when back in the days when Ricky Nolan was coaching. But we got Jake Sutton, sorry, Liz, we got Jake Sutton with the ball.
I was going to say Ricky Nolan is tuning in because he's already messaged me about the sound. So hello to Rick.
So Collis here picks up, kicks long towards goal. Raph Clark getting back. I don't think he's cut that one off. It's floated through for a goal, and so Will Collis scores Tars' first goal. It was a terrific snapshot from about 40 metres out. Got plenty of purchase on it, and just carried over the line. Raph Clark still wants to have a conversation with the goal umpire about it, but that won't do him any good.
Well, it was the Collis brothers in the last game here, Stu, against Wanderers, who were impressive. Dylan and William, they've come up from the VFL, Casey, and really impressive in the win over Wanderers. So the first goal on the board for Waratahs, 1-8, trailing St Mary's 2-1-13, almost at the 15-minute mark of the first quarter here at Gardens Oval, and the rain has actually just backed off a little.
Yeah, so we talked about some of the Saints players out this week, but some of the Tars players are real stars of the competition. Abe Ankers, Michael Newton, Callum Searle, Cameron Arnold and Mitch O'Donnell, so but a couple of handy ins as well, so Both sides probably not at full strength today, but pretty equally matched, I think, and the conditions will keep the game close anyway. So Dylan Lant hacks it off the ground, but straight into the hands there of Bailey Zobel for Tars. So Zobel slowing things down now and kicks towards a pack of players near half forwards. Ryan Smith gets bundled out of the way. Play on's the call. The ball comes out now. Smith was looking the other way. Probably could have been in the action, but Godden's kick was smothered. He goes in again and gets tackled high, and he'll take the free kick. Hand passes off, in fact, to Timmy Mosquito. Mosquito chips in short. That's a well-directed kick, but didn't quite carry to Collis. Jellyman Turner coming in doing some hard work. Eventually the ball spills out of there, close to the boundary line. Paredes trying to bend over and pick it up, but couldn't before the ball was forced over the boundary line. So another boundary throw in at left half forward for Tars, kicking towards the Darwin High School end of the ground. Smith wins the punch out there, kicked off the ground by Orville, but across half back Taylor. Saints kicked it out towards the wing here. Plenty of water on the ground to see. Again, there's a free kick off the ball, and again it's going Waratah's way. And this time it's Alex Maloney to take the free kick. He drives long towards half forward. Smith working back, but went over his head. Tars through the hands to Collis, off the outside of the boot, but it was Dylan Collis this time, but just smacked into the goalpost there, and a behind only.
And Jake Sutton had his hands stretched out saying I was in the goal square, I was running into it. So yeah, very close shot on goal there, as we see Nate Paredes try and mark it, but it's hit the ground.
Collis again hooks it round the corner, and sitting there all by himself is Keranua deep in the forward pocket, and he takes the mark, and we'll go back with a free kick. You see Kim Cantilla, I think, coming on for the first time today, making his way that way to half forward. Keranua taking plenty of time over this one with the set shot. It's only kicking from about 20 metres out on the left foot there. It's going across the face of goal. Some good body work by Parnell. Keeps the ball in his area, but eventually he runs over the ball, but backs it around and gets a hand pass out, and now Wilkinson hacks it out of defence for Saints over towards the scoreboard. And now St Mary's again running the ball through the hands. Big Grenfell kicks in short to Calder. Calder hand passes over the top, looking for Shannon Rioli. Just missed his outstretched hands. Jacob Long in there working hard for Saints again. The ball slips out the back of the pack, but over the boundary line for a throw in once again. So 18 and a half minutes are gone. Wouldn't be too much extra time in this first quarter. 2 goals to 1 so far, and the boundary throw in comes in. Tapped down there by Kirby, and now it's Turnbull driving it forward for Tars. Sutton on the end of this one against Wilkinson. Wilkinson does well to pick up and hand pass to Clark. He's caught with the ball. It spills out. Cantilla picks up on the left foot, chips towards goal, but that was always missing to the near side, and 3-4 are behind only. So Tars have recovered pretty well after Saints got the first 2 goals, and have had plenty of the football now.
They have. So St Mary's 2-1-13 leading Waratah 1-4-10, as we see a good mark there by Tars just inside the centre square. I can't see who it is, Stu.
Yeah, it's Turnbull. Robbie Turnbull read that one well from the kick out, straight down his throat, and he'll be kicking from just outside 50. And he's got a fair bit of purchase on it. It's going right to the line. Saints players lining up back there, and Wilkinson eventually gets the kick out of there. Torpedo out of defence. Be a bit harsh to play deliberately on a day like today, but he's playing it, and play on's the call, and Collis took full advantage and ran it right into the goal square with a deep kick, but Raph Clark read it well and took a good mark overhead on it with a couple of grabs, and chips in short to Jellyman Turner in the back pocket. He's going short again, close to the boundary, and again over the boundary line, and Will Collis on hand again to take the free kick.
Raph Clark's been busy early, Stu, keeping him busy down there in the fence.
So Clark, hands in the back looked like, wasn't called, and off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw, and probably a bit lucky there. So there's plenty of players around the ball, as you can see. There's no one in front of centre for St Mary's. And boundary throw in now as the clock ticks over to 20 minutes and has stopped, in fact, the scoreboard clock, because I don't know why. But quick kick out, and this time it bounces out. Again calling for deliberate, again being paid with the kick out of the pack. And again it's Will Collis on the end of it, so he's just inside 50 this time as he goes back for his kick. So Collis, he chips it towards the top of the goal square, where he had plenty of teammates, but Brodie Carroll picked up, tackled with the ball, and he's been called holding the ball. So Brodie's trying to get the ball back quickly. Collis
50 metres, yep.
Carroll won't let him get it, and it eventually gave away a 50-metre penalty. So Paredes marches this one down to the centre of the ground. Dylan Collis on the mark, and there's not much movement forward. There is now. Paredes kicks out here, but Will Collis read that best, spilt the mark, but recovered well with a hand pass forward, got it back from Carroll, kicks forward now. Tyler Saunders in and under this one, claiming the mark, but it bounced just in front, I think, and that's the way the umpire saw it. Now some strong body work, strong tackling in there, and we'll have a ball up. So we can't tell you how long's gone in the quarter. The clock stopped at 20, but be very close to quarter time now as we wait for the ball up here near half forward for Tars. Taylor was set upon as he grabbed the ball. Jellyman Turner picked it up nicely, but he was tackled strongly and bundled over the line by Cantilla. So plenty of push and shove as you'd expect any time between Tars and Saints, but especially when it's going to be in tight like this for most of the day.
Umpires today, Jamison Galbraith, Thomas Manning and Adam Coles in the green.
Marsh worked his way to the front. Jack Williams tries to pat it forward. Turnbull gets his kick. I think the siren beat him, and it's not going to score anyway. So quarter time here at Gardens Oval. It's Saints by 3 points in pretty difficult conditions, but some of the skills have been impressive, Liz.
Yeah, really good marking early on, especially when that rain was coming down so hard, and a nice close game. So 3-point margin going into quarter time. We'll be back after a short break. Waratah Gardens Oval. It's round 16 of the TIO NTFL season. We've got St Mary's playing Waratah. So far, St Mary's 2-1-13, leading Tars 1-4-10. Goal kickers, 2 goals to Jack Lant. He's been very impressive early for St Mary's. While for Tars, it's William Collis who got them on the board. Stu, who were your best players in the first quarter?
Well, clearly Jack Lant was dangerous up forward. I thought Kieran Parnell was pretty good in defence, and Sean Edwards and Raph Clark did pretty well, and the Collis boys for Tars were good, as well as Big Arnold Kirby and Alex Maloney. But game's underway. Tyler Saunders out of defence for Saints, and now they go deep inside forward 50. Sean Edwards down there, hands off to Calder, who tries to hook around the corner, but couldn't swing on that one back around, and it went out of bounds on the full in the left forward pocket.
It's been a pretty fast game so far, do you think, Stu?
Yeah, surprisingly, and as we said, just on quarter time, some pretty good skills in the conditions too. Some high flyers there. Turnbull at the bottom of the pack tries to hack it forward. Simpson also in there for Tars. Collis as well, and now forced forward by Klusky for Saints, and it's wrapped up underneath a number of players, and James Waratah stands up, hands it off to umpire Hetherington. Will have a ball up. Smith climbs over the top of Marsh there. The hand pass comes back to Paredes, who centres the ball out in front of Calder. Calder tried to get it on the second grab, but just was out of his reach, and now off the ground. Calder hooks a hand pass over his head. Sean Edwards taps it further forward, and Tars players collide with each other out there, and so neither of them picked up the ball. Eventually it is forced over the boundary line for a boundary throw in.
Not a great day to be the team wearing white shorts, Stu.
White shorts and yellow jumpers, and of course last time Tars were here they had the all white outfit on, and yeah, had trouble picking up some of them late in the game. So again, Edwards tries to get that kick. It's smothered. Brody Carroll for Tars picks up and drives out of defence. Oh, that's a terrific mark going back with the flight of the ball on the outer side of the ground by Nate Paredes.
A player holding his wrist for St Mary's. I think it's one of the Lance. Yep, it's Jack Lant.
And Paredes kicked long into the forward line. Getting on the end of that was Jackson Calder, and took the mark like it was a dry day, Liz. Single grab, and no problem at all, 20 metres out directly in front.
Now he needs to go back and kick it. Not like the last one, but Jack Lant is up and about. He was grabbed his hand after he went to ground just before, so St Mary's won't want to see him injured early or before finals. Jackson Calder, they nickname him the champ down at St Mary's. Let's see what he can do with this one.
Kept it low, but drilled it straight through the middle, and a handy goal early in this second quarter for Saints.
Yeah, all the goals very important today, as we've already said. So a goal there to Jackson Calder. He joined St Mary's a couple of seasons ago. I think Rick Nolan got him up here, or got him to the club. He was the leading goal kicker in the 2019-20 season with 33 goals, and he's originally from Mornington in Victoria. And his footy hero is Nathan Buckley, who hails from the Northern Territory. So, as I said, they call him the champ down there at St Mary's. He works for Peter Noodles McFarlane, a former great of the club. So I'm sure they have a lot to talk about during the week when they're at work. So St Mary's 3-1-19, leading Waratah 1-4-10.
Smith up early, but it was Kirby who won the hit out for Tars. Paredes in there again with the clearance for Saints. Drives the ball down along the ground towards half forward. Calder at the back of the pack. It slipped through as far as him. He picked it up and kicked it forward. Mosquito diving attempt at the mark. Couldn't take it. Tars trying to hack it out of there. Turnbull picks up. Flicks the hand pass forward to Carroll. He kicks the ball into the centre of the ground. Was touched off the boot. Raph Clark was waiting for it, but was good enough to get the handball off to Dylan Lant. Dylan Lant's kick goes inside forward 50. Shannon Rioli set upon as he took possession of the ball, and Tars worked their way out of defence again, and again Brody Carroll on the end of it with the mark, and he's switching the ball to the grandstand side of the ground. Tyler Saunders in the front with a double fister, thumped it forward. Klusky hand passed it off to Jellyman Turner. In fact, it was Taylor hand passed it off to Jellyman Turner, and Jellyman Turner is caught with the ball, and Henry Keranua to take the free kick for Tars. Keranua looking at options. They're all pretty well covered so far. It's just about gathering territory today, I think. No, he goes short. Oh, Cotton had it knocked out of his hands when he thought he had the mark. Jellyman Turner drives forward again. Tim Mostegito takes it.
The mud out of his eyes after sliding through the middle. It's not sure what number we use now, number 3 on his back. But St Mary's 5-1-31, leading Waratah 2-5-17 at the 15-minute mark of the second quarter here at Gardens Oval in Darwin on a beautiful wet season Sunday afternoon, Stu.
Yeah, are you doing Lockie Taylor's washing?
Nah, he can do his own. Lockie actually is living with us for the season, so I've got him.
And Brody Carroll couldn't keep the ball in play as he was tackled, and a boundary throw in just adjacent to the scoreboard on the other side of the ground, which shows 16 minutes gone in this second quarter. So Smith thumps the ball forward, but Tars are pretty well set up behind the pack there, and kick it straight forward. Henry Kiranua on the end of that takes the mark, plays on straight away, looking to chip it to his mate Kim Cantilla. It comes to him now on the bounce. He picks up, but he's tackled. Almost a throw there, and that's the way umpire Galbraith has seen that. Jacob Long with the free kick, kicks towards the outer side of the ground, goes off the hands over the back. Tars pick up again. Oh, heavy body work against Mosquito down there, and Saints looking to force the ball forward. They do now. Ferreira kicks long, deep in the forward line. Ferreira's on the end of that, but the ball spilled off his chest. Josh Cheek first to the ball, but slid over the boundary line and took the ball with him for another boundary throw in.
Good to see Lennon Ferreira back in the Men's Premier League for St Mary's. He was a great junior. And
his way on the outer side of the ground, and I think it's Jack Land again, Liz. And yeah, as you said, these conditions really suit his in and under style of play, and low centre of gravity and a strong body around the ball. So won himself a free kick, and will go back and kick for his 4th goal, amazingly, in these conditions. Kicks on its way now, drills it low, but he's just pulled that one to the left and behind only.
A wet weekend, actually. One of
under this takes the mark. This one skews off the side of the boot towards the boundary line, but Tyler Saunders first there and takes the mark.
Just in front of Iggy Vallejo, the St Mary's runner, who is the game's record holder for the NTFL.
So Saunders kick deep in the forward line. Lant again under there, but I think the ball went out of bounds with all that water, and it'd be a boundary throw in once again, about 20 metres around from the St Mary's goal. Throw in comes now, and Marsh got his hand to it. Quick kick out, but it'll be another boundary throw in the right forward pocket this time for Saints.
Well, we've been saying how skillful this game is and fast, but I'm sure towards the end of the game they'll tire out a bit, Stu. The conditions are pretty heavy underfoot, and it'll take them a bit to recover as we see another goal there.
Ground.
The different Lant this time.
Yeah, so Dylan Lant just in the right place, and got a kick off the ground in the goal square as the ball spilled out the back of the pack, and a really important goal. And St Mary's 6th, their 4th for the quarter, so just putting a little bit of a gap between them now. So that
lead increase, and in these conditions it's a pretty handy lead, Stu.
Yeah, it is, as the rain gets a little bit heavier again, but I think it'll be like that on and off all day. So, but you know, Tars are a quality side, and can string goals together in a hurry. We saw that against Wanderers. They came out in the 3rd quarter and kicked 6-0, I think. So they're still well in the game. 20 points isn't insurmountable at this stage. Dylan Lant with that clearance towards the outer side of the ground, and the rain's really coming now. And Tars do work it out of defence, but Sean Edwards was on the end of that, couldn't take the chest mark as it got punched away and went out of bounds for another boundary throw in.
So just 21.5-minute mark of the second quarter here. It's a 20-point lead to St Mary's, 6-1-37, 2-5-17 over Tars.
So from that boundary throw in, Katanech had his kick smothered. Sean Edwards hooks it in one-handed, but gets tackled straight away. Tars through the hands of Blake there, but his hand pass couldn't find a teammate. Work against Tom Marsh. Marsh reads it best, gets to the front, takes it out of the ruck, almost threw it up in the air and punched it forward. Braith Hodges in there, picks up, he's tackled and swung around, but swung over the boundary line.
Well, it was the Lant brothers who combined for 40 touches and 13 inside 50s. The last time these two teams met, when St Mary's won by 24 points, and Nate Paredes was best that day, and kind of doing the same thing today, Groundhog Day.
Oh, Turnbull in there, picks the ball up, gets a kick forward, but only as far. Punches back, and Ferreira on the end of this. Sean Edwards tries to take the chest mark. It got a bit high on him and bounced off his shoulder. And, slipping over in defence was Maloney again. But his hand pass was chopped off. Ball on the ground, and Saints trying to work it through the hands. Walters with the hand pass across, but again, Blake out of defence. Raf Clark's first to the recover onto the ground. Kieran Parnell picks up nicely, kicks high and long into the forward line. Coming over the back was Calder with the pass out, but only as far as Jellyman Turner for Saints, who drives it to centre half forward. Tars players diving on it. Tim Mosquito picks it up and kicks towards the boundary line. It's going to stop in the wet weather there. Beautifully scooped up by Jellyman Turner. Kicks on the outside of his boot towards the goal square. A double fister out of there, and there's Tars players around there. They can't pick it up. Calder picks it up, hooks a hand pass over the top. Maloney again gets a quick kick out, but the ball stops in the puddle out there, and a good effort to advance the ball about 20 metres, but
by St Mary's, so great work there. 3 goals to Jack Lant, 1 Jackson Calder, 1 to Shanrioli, and 1 to Dylan Lant, while for Tars just the 2 to William Collis. Well, it is bucketing down here. We are going to go to the halftime break, and we'll be back very soon. Welcome back to Gardens Oval for the third quarter of this game between Waratah and St Mary's. St Mary's with a 21-point lead, Stu, as we get underway.
Had an absolute deluge at half-time, and that's why you'll see a lot more water on the ground as we start this third quarter. Kids loved it though. I think I saw Fraser Cruz out there, Liz.
Yes.
Handle the ball cleanly like that. Obviously a new ball at half-time, but still has been on the ground already. But Calder directly in front, about 35 metres out. Kicks on the way now. It's going close. Got the distance, but just pushed it to the right. And a minor score only.
He's from the Mornington Peninsula. The weather's like this in summer down there every time I go down at Christmas. So a miss there, but a turnover straight away. St Mary's.
Paredes kicks it, but no, the ball stops in the water out there, and Maloney picks it up. He tries to shrug off the tackle, manages to get him to move the ball quickly on the grandstand side. That'll hit the water and just about stop. Beautifully picked up down there by Kim Cantilla. Cantilla wheels around, kicks down towards half forward, but it's all Saints there, and Raf Clark takes the mark off one step, kicks forward, and that straight into the hands of Godden, who plays on. Some fancy footwork to get around a couple of players, and he kicks long. Raf Clark doing the defensive work again for Saints. Yeah, punches it over the boundary line.
Raf's been solid today, just doing 1%ers punching the ball across the line. So as the rain stops again momentarily. Very, very wet underfoot though at Gardens Oval. You can see a lot of water on the ground, especially in the goal square down there, Stu.
On the left foot, kicks Tars forward into the goal square, and Cantilla has a couple of goes at kicking off the ground in the swimming pool down there, and eventually Jacob Long picks up and runs the ball out for Saints. And there's Calder again, taking
Great
another
mark.
Sensational mark in this weather.
That goal attempt's got to make the highlight reel, doesn't it? You wouldn't see that very often, where the ball just doesn't move when you kick the absolute daylights out of it.
So Calder kicks the mongrel punt forward. Walters underneath that one. Some heavy bodies going in. Jack Lant was one of them, and he's going to be penalised here.
I don't know if it was on the sideline.
So a free kick's been paid down here in front of us, and it's going St Mary's way to Leonard Pereira. In fact, it's Paredes. Paredes thumps it forward, looking for Calder again. He
switched ends pretty quick.
Played for the push out, wasn't paid, and quick kick forward by Arnold Kirby, and Jellyman Turner sits under that one, takes it nicely under plenty of pressure.
It's been good so far today, Jellyman Turner.
He was terrific in their last game too, I thought. It's a free kick downfield for, it's done pretty well there. Kicks towards goal now. He's got a pretty good piece of it. It's going right to the goal line and kept in play by the Waratah defender down there, Nick Gooch, but his teammate ran it over eventually, and Zobel brings the ball back into play. Burrowing through on the outer side was Dylan Lant, and he got through a couple, but eventually got pinged for holding the ball.
I think St Mary's coach Anthony Valasia would be pretty happy at this stage of the game, but he'd like cool heads.
It's been impressive in these conditions today. Chipped out wide, looking for Taylor, but he couldn't control the ball. Tars through the hands, eventually get it to Simpson, who chips the ball inside forward 50. Wilkinson leaves his man and comes out to meet the ball, and sees it out and over the boundary line for a throw-in. 5 minutes gone, third quarter. No goals on the board in this quarter, but plenty of action, that's for sure. And
440 leading Waratah to 6-18.
Wilkinson brings it in again. Sean Edwards with strong overhead mark. He's looking to chip inboard now. He does so to Dylan Lant. And Edmonds on the mark, but Lant brings it back towards the grandstand side here. Calder's underneath this one. This time he doesn't take the mark, but ball's on the ground. And going in hard, Turnbull does it beautifully, hands it off to his teammate Blake, but Blake couldn't handle the ball and could only toe off the ground. Hacks it forward. Bailey Zobel's first there. He hand passes forward to Will Collis. He's tackled straight away by Paredes. Slips out where Edwards gets a half volley kick at it, and Maloney under plenty of pressure got the hand pass out. McCarthy with a quick kick forward, but only as far there as Klusky, who hacks it forward again for Saints. Ball on the ground, and Saints with the numbers there. Shannon Rioli picks up. He's trying to break the tackle. Eventually hand passes to Sean Edwards, who saw his teammate Paredes inboard. Paredes picks up, swings the kick around. Ferreira on the outside of the boot towards goal. Looks pretty good. And
to remain standing on the line and get that handball out, and then Shawnee Edwards and Nate Paredes to get it across to Ferreira. Well done. Leonard made his Premier League debut back in 2019, and he got a round 15 Rising Star nominee not long after that. It's his first Premier League game for the season, and yeah, great goal there. So St Mary's have extended that lead, a 7-4-46 to Waratah 2-6-18, almost at the 8-minute mark of the third quarter here at Gardens Oval.
Exactly right, Liz. A great team goal, some great individual efforts, but a great team goal, and good vision by Sean Edwards to see his teammate free in the middle, and that's what really set it up in the end. Brody Carroll in there for Tars, wins the clearance. Drives the ball down to centre half forward.
Andrew Hodges, and he's a nephew of Jason Jones, a two-time Nichols medalist, and he looks just like Jonesy, doesn't he?
He does. A bit shorter, I think, but yeah, he was a terrific player. But Tars going forward now. Sliding across there was Clark, but couldn't keep hold of the ball. He's in there again.
Oh,
picks
great
up
hands.
hand passes nicely to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner kicks into the open space out here. First there for Tars was Collis. He hand passed inboard, but the kick's chopped off by Raf Clark, and he slows it down, chips it towards the boundary line, where his partner in crime, Jellyman Turner, takes the mark. He drives long here. Ferreira flies for it. Mosquito's on the ground trying to pick it up. Paredes does so, but kicks only a couple of metres forward. He's in there again, hacking it forward. Maloney picks up and gets tackled straight away. Brody Carroll hooks around the corner, and Big Grenfell dives at that one, but Will Collis with some strength turns around, kicks forward. Tyler Saunders again claiming the mark, but it's hit the ground and he's tackled by a couple of Waratah players, and we'll have a stalemate and a ball up. Stays in play. Now it's out of bounds as Josh Cheek
Like
gets
tennis
tackled
Stew.
by Jamie McCarthy.
On the line is in.
Yeah. So boundary throw in, and another restart. Marsh and Grenfell. Grenfell this time taps it forward, but only as far as Brody Carroll, who hooks the left foot kick around the corner. Tyler Saunders, it evades him. Dylan Collis kicks it forward. Raf Clark reads it best, and again hand passes off nicely to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner hooks the ball around the corner.
Raf Clark's been great today.
He has been great. He's read the ball really well, and he's standing Jay McGrath, who really we haven't called, so he's well on top down there. Carroll kicks forward, but good body work by Kieran Parnell. Just got Dylan Collis off balance and took the mark on his chest. It's called to play on now, and he kicks long towards the big fella Grenfell. He's bundled out of the way. Calder got his hands to the ball, but it slipped over the back. Tom Marsh gets a quick kick forward. Ferreira's in there for Saints. Picked up nicely down here by... He's on straight away now and hits up Jellyman Turner, who spills that one off his chest. Brody Carroll comes in and takes the ball over the boundary line.
And the rain has stopped again. It's just going to be one of those stop-start days today, I think. Players have adjusted to it well, though.
So another wrestle in the ruck. Grenfell this time wins the hit out. It's a high tackle free kick paid to Godden here for Tars. And he's driving Tars deep forward again. But again, Kieran Parnell sitting under this one. Takes a solid mark in defence. Change bench towards the wing on the grandstand side of Gardens Oval. Grenfell tries to take the ball out of the ruck. Jellyman Turner's got his soccer skills on display, and then he's tackled without the ball strongly. And gee, he's having some quarter, Liz. Jellyman Turner getting plenty of the football.
Yeah, he's a fitness fanatic, and you can just see how fit he is, which is so good for his game, because he just has that ability to run out 4 quarters. But
so
yeah, big
players, I think there. Play on was a sensible call. Turnbull gets through the hands, comes out the back to Catanach. Looked like he got ploughed into the back, and that's the way it's been seen.
And good to see the two ruckmen help each other up and give each other a smile as the rain starts again on the tin roof at Gardens Oval in the grandstand.
Tars out of defence. Waratah gets a fist to the ball and over the boundary line for another throw-in. So the big fellas, Smith and Kirby, to Boston Walters, that is, and some terrific shepherding work on the line, and sees the ball bounce through for a goal. So again, another valuable goal for St Mary's. They've kicked the only 2 goals of this quarter, and it's the gap's starting to get a bit big for Tars now.
It is. Well, Walters, it's his second game back since before Christmas. He injured his foot or his ankle and went back to Colac, where he's from. He plays for in the AFL Barwon League, so good to have him back in the side. It's his first season in the NTFL, and fun fact about him, he once kicked 18 goals in a reserves game in 2000.
Ball's on the ground, cheeks in there, but it'll be a Waratah free kick on the outer side of the ground, and that's Turnbull again. He's found something in there. Good hands out to Will Collis. Will Collis on the left chips it straight down the middle of the ground where Kim Cantilla takes the mark. Cantilla looking to drill the ball in forward. Oh, Raph Clark just one-handed snatches that one out of the air, and it's been a bit of vintage Raph Clark
Yes,
today.
when you're on song, you're on song.
So he hands it off to Parnell. Parnell goes long towards Smith.
Oh,
and Smith
vintage Ryan Smith there, Stu. The old boys combining.
Just amazed with some of the skills that Gooch was in front for Tars, but couldn't control the ball. Eventually, Saints through cheek try to work it out, and good hands in there by Edmonds, and but kick forward went out of bounds on the full, and looks like Clark who'll go across. No, it's getting handed over to Ryan Smith, who hand passes it off to Clark, but he's not allowed to. So he's got to go back out to the boundary line for the kick in.
Well, speaking of Raph Clark and defence today, St Mary's defence has been outstanding this season. They've kept their opponents to an average of 46 points in the last 4 rounds, and by St Mary's.
And I think Waratah were the highest scoring side coming into the round, so fantastic. Obviously helped by the conditions today, but yeah, solid defence from Saints.
Oh.
Ball on the ground, and again a free kick. And again, it's going Waratah's way. And it's Collis who chips the ball in. Dylan Lant runs back, chops that one off, and he's met solidly by Dylan Collis, but Lant has paid the mark, and he's been impressive again today, Liz.
Oh, he sure has. The Lants have been amazing, and I expect to see them up there. The votes out again this year?
Don't know yet. Be happy to, but...
the dulcet tones of Stu Davis. You always do a fantastic job, so hopefully you are.
Smith gets his way to the front, and Saints going forward again. Oh, Fiore underneath that one. Again, couldn't take the mark, but just taps it forward to the advantage of a teammate. Fiore scoops it up. A bit suspect that one, but play on's the call, and Paredes tackled with the ball. Quick hack out, goes towards the boundary line. Dylan Lant again, very important touches in this quarter.
Oh, he sure has. He's a class player, as we know. Played a lot of AFL, so absolute class player. He played in the rep game just a couple of weeks ago and was outstanding. Kicked that exciting goal in the last quarter, which brought the house down at TIO Stadium. So, geez, there's been a few contenders for goal of the year today, Stu. Shan Rioli, Jack Lant, and Shawnee Edwards, another one. Yep. So, another goal to St Mary's sees them extend their lead 9-4-58 to Waratah 2-6-18. So a 40-point margin. It was about 19 or 20 points at half time. Yeah. So, yeah.
And again wins this hit out, taps it forward. Paredes bundled out of the way. Nicely done down there, and quick kick comes forward. Wilkinson back with the flight of the ball. He was hurdled by Cantilla. And Cantilla will take the free kick. I think that's for the sliding at the ball and taking the legs. But Cantilla chips in short and finds his teammate there in Robbie Turnbull. So Turnbull takes the mark about 5 metres inside the 50-metre line. And he's going back to take the set shot, and they really needed a goal, Liz.
They sure did. That would have been a good one just before the 3-quarter time break. It is just ticking over the 20.5-minute mark, so maybe a couple of minutes left as we see Matt Wilkinson kick it in for St Mary's.
Looking for Ryan Smith out here. Ball's on the ground, and Nicely done by Klusky, who hand passes the ball forward. Paredes picks up now, kicks the ball as he's running backwards almost, and this one's chopped off by Maloney, just forward of half back.
He would have had to be in the best today for Waratahs, you think, Stu?
Oh, yeah, certainly. He's a reliable defender, and he's done a good job down there in front of the Waratah clubhouse, just next to the grandstand here. Smith and Kirby. Kirby wins this one. Dylan Lant got the kick as he was slung. Smith trying to paddle the ball, eventually scoops it forward. Braithwaite just tries to hack it off the ground. Jack Williams goes in. Paredes in there, gets thrown out of the pack. Sutton does well to pick up the ball and drive it forward. Raf Clark coming across again, taking a sliding mark and showing the ball to the crowd. And
50
we'll have a
metres.
50-metre penalty.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's been...
And Jacob Long's got a spare player on the outer side. That's Wilkinson. Finds him. Wilkinson goes short to Parnell, who's found some space down towards the wing. He chips in short to Taylor, so stringing together some passes here, Saints, and Taylor takes off, runs the ball forward. Calder over the back, can't quite take the mark. Ball on the ground. In there again is Jack Lant. Snap around the corner, and he's missed this time.
How good was the pickup again, though, by Jack Lant?
And quickly getting the ball to boot, but just couldn't bring it round far enough. So another impressive quarter by St Mary's.
The time break, it's St Mary's 9-5-59, leading Waratah 2-7-19. It's all St Mary's at the three-quarter time break, 9:5:59, leading Waratah 2-7-19. It's been a wet and wild old afternoon, Stu, but an entertaining game.
Has been an entertaining game. Some of the skills have been amazing in this weather, and I think as you said during the break, Liz, Saints have come to play today, and have really taken the game away from Tars to three-quarter time.
Bit different to the game we watched where Tars absolutely thumped Wanderers just, 10 days ago or so, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Not that long ago.
So Walters one that had the free kick hand pass as he tried to change direction, and eventually he's back in there with the ball underneath him and tackled by a couple of Saints players.
Yeah, two best mates, Jacob Long and Lockie Taylor, the last ones to get up there for Saints. They've really buddied up this season after Taylor's moved up to Darwin from Geelong.
Turnbull gets his hands on the ball. Carroll again in there, but good hands out by Parnell. Taylor couldn't take it cleanly. The ball's trapped underneath him now. He's plenty of players came on top, and we'll have another restart. We'll replace him, and we'll get started again.
Yeah, a bit of blood from the nose. Lockie Taylor got a big whack a few weeks ago at one of the games at TIO Stadium, so I don't think it broke, but obviously got a soft spot there.
So from the hit out, Hodges gets toe off the ground. Tyler Saunders trying to keep his feet while keeping his hands on the ball. Edmonds gets a hand pass out. Sutton hooks a hand pass over the top. Hodges is in there again, but he lays a good tackle on Simpson, wraps him up, not rewarded, and it'll be a ball up again. Godden picks it up for Saints and makes some space, hooks around with his left foot deep into the forward line. Raph Clark tidying up again. Good hands to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner kicks around the corner, but it only went about 5 metres and stopped in the water. Jacob Long battling hard for the ball over there with Collis, and eventually the ball's out of bounds. A deliberate free kick has been paid. It's going Tars' way again, and that's Blake out there who centres the ball in. Ball's at the top of the goal square, picked up, a snap around the corner, but offline, and Wilkinson's Turner drives the ball down the wing. Shannon Rioli pushes his opponent out of the way, soccers the ball 3 times now. He's made about 30 metres. Good defensive work by Gooch, got him out of the way. Mosquito came in and picked up, kicked the ball off the outside of the boot going forward. Dylan Collis picks up and kicks the ball out towards the boundary line, where Paredes will be first there for Saints as the ball stops in the water. He drives the ball down the wing again. Ferreira comes in and picks up and gets tackled by Simpson over the boundary line, and a boundary throw in. Liz, I've never seen so many kicks off the check side kicks in general play as I have today. And just with a high ball, not travelled far enough was the call. Sutton was claiming the mark. Jellyman Turner again comes in, tries to pick up one hand. He slides to the ground. Oh, fantastic tackle by Lant, but eventually Collis breaks free. This kick's smothered. Klusky picks up, swings a hand pass forward. Tim Mosquito picks up for Tars, kicks it forward. And the ball on the ground again right in front of us here, and players coming from everywhere as Kirby picks up. He's tackled to the ground. It spills out. Dylan Collis picks up, hooks it round the corner, but Grenfell had parked himself behind the ball about 30 metres and takes that mark on his chest, and another ball up. So 5 minutes has already elapsed, and Tars have made no inroad into this lead that Saints have got.
You're really missing Abe Anchors today, aren't they, Stu?
Yeah, they are, and also Callum Searle, who was injured in the dying minutes of that last game that we watched. I haven't got an update on his injury. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I asked Jan Ray, Waratah's trainer, later that night, and she said he was okay. So, but yeah, I haven't heard. Yeah.
And of course, missing Big Westerberg as well from injured in the rep game. So Turnbull drives the ball forward now. Cantilla's on the end of this. He tries Tyler Saunders, who goes across the ground. And Walters was sliding into that one, hit him in the face as he tried to mark it. Kieran Parnell toed it in front of him. He runs back to it now. Hand passes outside, and Jacob Long goes down the wing where Walters has run forward. Again, couldn't take the mark, and there's plenty of water out there, and eventually goes out over the boundary line.
And the rain comes down heavily again. I tell you one thing that wouldn't be comfortable, and that's a falcon with a wet ball to the face on a day like today, Stu.
Definitely not. At least it's not cold and wet.
Well, when I was running...
held in underneath, and umpire Galbraith will recommence.
So 6.5 minute mark of the final quarter. Saints 9-5-59 leading Waratah to 7-19.
Again, no clearance out of there. We'll have another restart. Saints make a couple of changes. Players running on in front of us. Smith hooks the tap over his head, but picked up down there by Blake. He kicks forward, but his mark's chopped off by Jelly. Waratah's players got their hands on it as well. And so we'll have a restart. But we've had that many restarts, you'd just pay that mark, wouldn't you, and open the game up. But, anyway, players are called Jack Williams. His kick's smothered, and Tom Marsh takes it and kicks towards the outer side. Oh, there's a good mark taken by McGrath. Almost his first, the first time we've called him today, and in front of Clark this time. He kicks towards the grandstand side of the ground, but Braith Hodges chipped in and took the mark, and now he switches further towards the boundary, and Jacob Long takes this one. His kicks.
Districts and Nightcliff, Darwin Buffs and Waratah will be a good game, and Palmerston and Wanderers is the last game. So
well, plenty of important games as we look for the makeup of the top five. The top five settled, but it's just the positions within the five, and obviously really important to finish in that top three to give yourself the best chance at a crack at the premiership. So Zobel kicks along the forward line. Ryan Smith gets his fist to the ball there and knocks it away from Tom Marsh and goes out of bounds for another boundary throw in.
And I'm trying to get an updated score from the Wanderers and Buffs game. We did hear that at half-time.
Ball forward, and there's a free kick off the ball here against Marsh. It's going to Hodges, back where the ball was kicked from, and Hodges picks himself up, and he'll take the free kick.
Not a popular decision in front of the Waratahs crowd.
Hodges goes long looking for Smith. Smith takes that uncontested in the end on the chest.
Vintage sauce today, Smith and Raf Clark.
Oh, Sean Edwards drops this one off the mark. But picked up by Paredes. Hand passes outside, but Zobel was there for Tars, but he again went to ground, and the ball gets caught up underneath. There's a bit of action going on off the ball.
They're going to give a good old-fashioned talking to by umpire Thomas Manning. And a free kick to Nate Paredes.
Paredes wouldn't have been stirring any trouble
no.
himself, I wouldn't have thought. But
very nice, well-mannered.
The conditions have suited him today, and he's been really impressive again for Saints, as he is most weeks.
He's just a workhorse, Nate, you know, just gets on with it. Three-time best and fairest for the club, and you can see why.
So Paredes now, he's dragged that one, and it's the first score for the quarter, but it's only a behind. Just snuck inside the behind post, and we'll have a restart. And it'll be a free kick coming back to Sutton. Oh, it's kicked straight along the ground, but Tim Mosquito's there. He goes wide to Brody Carroll, who's got plenty of space out here. Not much to go to going forward.
Jellyman Turner.
Fantastic work by Jellyman Turner to close the gap and get that smother in, and the high ball, Waratah parks himself underneath it, and the mark is paid. Smith's claiming that he touched it.
He's very passionate football man.
Just went behind him, and now the ball on the ground. Jack Williams in there, picked up, and Tars hack it out of defence again going forward. That one's hit Wilkinson right in the face in that marking contest. Jellyman Turner gets another kick forward looking for Smith. He spills this one. Jack Lance there first, picks up beautifully one-handed, gets a kick inside as the pressure comes on. Shannon Rioli picks up, hand passes across to Paredes. Paredes running in towards the open goal from 20 metres out, puts it straight through the middle, and gets himself on the scoreboard for Saints, and just caps off what's been another terrific game by Nate Paredes.
And that was just unreal to watch, that one-handed pick up again. That's the fees.
Yeah, and clean hands by Rioli. Picked it up first grab and had Paredes cruising past, and he'd worked hard to get there, and was rewarded by Shannon Rioli. So
it sure was. So the scoreboard now reads St Mary's 10-6-66, leading Waratah to 7-19. I don't think Tars have kicked a goal since the second quarter.
No, that's
first
right.
quarter.
No,
one in the first, one in the second.
Yep. Both by Will Collis.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they haven't gone forward all that often, and haven't been successful when they have.
So Jack Lant is the only multiple goal scorer today for St Mary's, kicking 3, and the rest are all singles. Good.
Comes forward, Jellyman Turner hovering there, but bounce evaded him. Brody Carroll tackled by Tyler Saunders, and we'll have a restart between centre half forward and centre for Waratah going towards the city end of the ground, but Big Grenfell takes it out of the ruck, kicks it into the mud patch in the middle of the ground. Shannon Rioli's there fighting the ball with Will Collis. Braith Hodges also there in support of Rioli, and they wrap it up, and we'll have a ball up right in the middle of the ground.
It's gotten busier as the game goes on. Young Braith just finished year 12 at Xavier College, and he's going to study
quite a bit in this last quarter, and I think umpire Galbraith has had more touches than most of the players in this final quarter. Throws it up now. Grenfell, another punch out of the air. Klusky takes it and hand passes. Jack Williams hacks it forward, looking there for Ferreira. It goes over his head. Calder toes it out to the advantage of Ferreira, who again gets the toe on it. Walters gets a quick kick out, but only as far as Mosquito, who tries to find a teammate back there, but picked up by Ferreira, and eventually it falls in the hands of Shannon Rioli. Ducks one way, back the other. Then Ken will have another ball up about 10 metres out from St Mary's goal.
Yeah, great defence there by Timmy Mosquito. St Mary's looked like they were going to kick another one then. He just, great tackle there on Nate Paredes.
So that hand pass hooked over and into the goal post for a rush behind, and we'll just settle things down as about 25 players run out of that goal square and try to take position for this kick in.
There is not a single player behind the halfway mark of the ground, Stu.
That's right. Hodges in there again for Saints. So everyone ran away from him, so he just...
Today he's had a good battle in the ruck with Ryan Smith, one of the elder statesmen of the NTFL, and I think he's done pretty well for Tars.
Yeah, he always does. It's a big effort, but Jacob Long over the back here almost keeps the ball in play, but eventually he's tackled by Cantilla, and it goes out, and we'll have a boundary throw in once again.
So 16.5-minute mark of the final quarter here at Gardens Oval. It's St Mary's 10-8-68, leading Waratah 2-7-19.
Throw in Grenfell and Marsh this time. Marsh gets his hand to the ball, but Dylan Lant read it. His kick smothered, goes straight up. He looks to chip the ball in board now. He does so and finds his teammate there, Turnbull, who'd run forward. He hand passes off to Kirby. Kirby, the ruckman, has a flying shot at goal, and it looks pretty good. No, it's just missed to the right-hand side. So
that would have been reward for effort for Arnold Kirby, but not to be.
So Wilkinson again for St Mary's, looking to bring the ball in. They're shouting for it in front of the grandstand here, but he goes short to Williams in the back pocket on the outer side instead, and he chips it out.
Career, but great persistence to come back and play at this level again.
Sean Edwards eventually gets the clearing kick. Smith gets his hands to the ball. Jack Lant picks up, but his hand pass is smothered. Ball on the ground. McGrath got the hand pass out, and Mosquito chipped it across here where the mark's taken by Simpson. Simpson kicks the ball laterally out there to Catanach, but his kick is chopped off by Walters in defence for Saints. Parnell again in the action, picks up, gets a hand pass back to Walters, who'd run up to support, and picked up by McGrath, who hacks it forward, but Jellyman Turner had made the ground to get back and chopped it off, and now kicks towards the grandstand here where Jack Williams picks up, ducks back and kicks short, looking for Dylan Lant. The ball on the ground. Dylan hand passes to Ferreira. The tackle slides over his back. He bounces it forward to Calder, who tries to break the tackle. He can't, but gets a hand pass forward. Now the ball on the ground. We've got a free kick off the ball again, and I think it's going to go Jackson Calder's way. And he just slows things down here as he looks for options forward.
Today.
Yeah. So Wilkinson comes out in front of Kirby, couldn't hold on to the mark, and spills over the boundary line for a throw-in.
I've definitely got Raph Clark, Ryan Smith in my best for St Mary's. Jack Lant, Jellyman Turner been fantastic as well. Kieran Parnell, but a great team effort for Saints.
Yep.
What about Tars, Stu?
Well, as you said, big Kirby and Will Collis has been pretty prominent. Godden's had a bit of it. I like Turnbull and And I think Brody Carroll's been in and around the action for most of the day.
Yeah, he always gives 100%. Brody, as we see Lant get up with brown shorts on,
Yeah,
the new St Mary's uniform. Minute mark, there can't be too much longer to go, but a 48-point lead to St Mary's in the final quarter.
So the throw in now, the Ruckman Wrestling. Marsh taps it only as far as Jack Williams, who kicked it forward, and there is the siren to end a pretty comprehensive win for St Mary's. They'll be happy with that. They retain second spot on the ladder and just about lock up a top 3 spot, Liz.
Yeah, they would be very happy to that. There was a fair bit of talk during the week that this was a danger game for them. Tails in some ominous form after defeating Wanderers in the Australia Day, the Foundation Day match. So I'm sure Chopper Vallejo would be very happy. So the
and then finals, and still plenty of exciting footy to be played. We'll catch you next time.